Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain. I'm Rachel, and with me we actually have peppermint tea because we are getting a little bit on into the evening today, which just happens because I get off work, I get my workout in, I get some cuddle time with the puppies, and then sometimes I come on here and we talk about books and we see what's happening in the literary world. Well, today we are talking about Wizard of Most Wicked Ways by Charlie N. Holmberg. This is Whimbrel House number 4. And from what I can interpret or extrapolate based on my read of this book, this could be potentially the final book in the series. Now, it feels as though things were wrapped up pretty well, but it doesn't officially have to be the end. Now, if Charlie N. Holmberg decides that she wants to write some more, she possibly could, but I also feel like she could potentially just move on to other things if there are other things in her mind that she wants to focus on. But let's dive into the summary of this particular book, and I will go ahead and kind of caveat that I was sitting here like kind of before I hit the record button thinking I had already recorded this, but I think it was because I had already written my Goodreads review. And then I was like, did I already record it? But I think it was just because I had already written my review, typed out my review, is why I'd already accessed Goodreads, and I don't usually do that until I've recorded. So I think that's why I kind of had that deja vu moment. So, when dead enemies arise, grave matters of the heart, mind, and body clash in the fourth fantastical force. One day I will learn to read. One day. It's going to be a thing. The fantastical fourth Whimbrel House novel by Amazon charts and Wall Street Journal best-selling author Charlie N. Holmberg. Whimbrel House is changing. Merritt and Hulda are raising a family. Owain, and I've always read that as Owen because I've only always had the ebook until this one, and I had the audiobook this time. And so apparently it's Owain instead of Owen. So Owain has signed a marriage contract with a magically compatible Lady Cora, a heavyweight of British nobility who's an ocean away, and the lovely shape-shifting druid Fallon makes a distractingly fetching friend for Owain. But another change is in the air, and this time it's something wicked. The greatest wizard of the millennium, Silas Hogwood, is back. After 5 years dead, new body, same foul scent, and driven by madness and revenge, Owain, fearing he isn't strong enough to fend him off, seeks Cora's help and influence in England. Alarms ringing, Queen Victoria dispatches her league of magicians, including her personal necromancer, to aid in Owain's defense. As magic, both good and evil, converge on Bloodong Island. Yeah, Bloodong. Yeah. It's different whenever you kind of like read it in your head and then but anyway, Owain realizes how harrowing the forces against them are. Combating them will require some digging, literally, for half-formed secret of magic Hulda doesn't want him to have. But no promise, lock, or government red tape will keep Owain from doing what's necessary to protect those he loves. One way or another, Silas will only take Whimbrel House over Owain's third dead body. So it is considered fantasy, historical fiction, romance, magic, fiction, mystery. And I want to say the audio book that I had was somewhere around 9 to 9.5 hours. And from the way, again, that I interpreted this installment, the ending felt as though it did end. It felt as though we have finally wrapped up this story. That's my personal thought. And again, if if Miss Holmberg decides that she wants to write another one, then maybe we will explore what Owain does while he is in England. But now I may need to put a caveat in my title that this may contain spoilers, because I think because this is the fourth installment, and if you have not read the other ones, which are imperative to read, this is not standalone. This does hinge fully on the fact that you do need to read the other ones to know what is going on in this one. That is incredibly necessary. In the first book, we really do focus pretty heavily on Merritt and meeting Hulda. In the second book, we really kind of lean a little more into Hulda. Of course, Merritt is there. In the third one, we probably do focus then more on Owain, with, of course, Merritt and Hulda being kind of, I don't want to call them secondary characters, but they are a little bit more in the background. And in this one, Owain is definitely in the forefront, and Hulda and Merritt are once again present, but they are in the background, as it just seems to be just shifting of focus of these main characters. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We just are able to focus and get a little bit of different perspectives almost each time. My only issue with maybe this particular book is that Owain has only just now turned 18. Now, he was a house for, let's say, 200 some odd years of his life. For, 214 years of his life, pretty much. And in that period of time, he was pretty much alone a lot of it. So he never really had a lot of growing up to do. He never did a lot of growing up. Maturing emotions were really different, because you're a house. There is no, heart or mind, so to speak, because a house doesn't have those things. And so when he was a boy, he was in a completely different time period. And now and then he was a dog for a period of time. And now he's back into the body of a boy, which is not his body anymore. He still identifies it as the body of the boy who had previously lived in it. But he's made this promise. He's very adamant about this promise he's made. And he's also very adamant that he's the only one who can do certain things. And I think that's infuriating for me as a reader, because him being 18 in this particular book, he still feels younger than that, because he really doesn't feel as though, 17 or 18, I think he's only just barely just 18 in this one, doesn't feel like he got there in the in the best way. He's had to reach that level almost super fast. He had to kind of go from infancy to 18 in these past 4 years. And I don't think that's very fair for him to feel as though he has to bear this burden of solving everybody's problems, of solving the Silas Hogwood issue, by himself. But as this book progresses, that is how he tends to take this burden, is that it is his burden to bear. And I'm seeing all of these adults around him, I don't want to say letting him, but yeah, kind of letting him. And it is so frustrating, because I'm in my head, I'm still thinking, he's still kind of a kid. Sure, he's legal adult-ish, but he was a dog for a while. He was a house for hundreds of years. He's barely been human for 4 years. Because I don't think those original couple of human years that he had 200 plus years ago really count. He started over. So those are some things that I found kind of frustrating in this particular book. And then there were some ups and downs with some of the, it felt like we were waiting a lot in this particular book. Like action would happen and then we would wait a lot. And then action would happen and then we would wait a lot. So it is kind of a bit of a chaotic narrative. But of course, I think that does lend to the fact that this book is intended to be a little bit chaotic with the type of magic. I mean, if you go back and look at some of the other titles, I think one of them is called The Boy of Chaotic Making. So, like, that makes some sense too. Silas Hogwood's character has absolutely gone insane. The shreds of any level of humanity that he had previously had in books 1 and maybe 2, I think in book 2 is when they finally were able to like whack him over the head and do what they needed to do without trying to give too many spoilers. I think that's where they were able to that's where we thought maybe, but that we pretty much knew that he wasn't officially gone. This one, Silas's mind is absolutely cracked. He is just not there. Like, there is no sanity left. He is absolutely crazy. So it does lead more to that kind of chaos. And I will say that points of kind of the relationship issue, I'm just not sure how I feel about the way the choices were made with, but like kind of the love triangle with Cora and Owain and Fallon. I was a little, I'm not certain I was super happy with the way that was kind of made, but I'm not the writer. I'm just saying I'm not certain I'm happy with it. Again, good story. If this is the way we end this series, then okay. I gave it a 4-star because fine. I'm a little bit underwhelmed, but hey, you know what? I was looking for a slightly happier ending. I got a slightly saddish ending. In my personal opinion. Slightly saddish ending. Maybe not what I was looking for. That's fine. I don't know if, like, Hulda in this book, by the time this book comes along, I think Hulda's had like 3 kids. And Hulda's just, I don't know if motherhood agrees with her very well. She's very snippy. I know she was always very, like, very, like, prim and proper, but she feels a little more abrasive now. I don't know if she's the same Hulda that I had encountered and was starting to grow, like, she was starting to grow on me. But when I encountered her in this book, I was like, ooh, I'm not sure I like you anymore. Because there were some parts where I was just not sure I was the biggest fan of hers with the way she was acting at certain points. But, again, my personal thoughts. I gave this book a 4-star. I think I walked into this book thinking it was going to be the end of the series, and if it is, then I thought I was going to get a little bit of a happier ending, but Charlie N. Holmberg does not always write happy endings, and that's okay. You don't have to have happy endings to have an ending. Life's not always happy. Sometimes you just get the ending you get, and that is fine. The ending makes sense for the time period as well, and that is okay as well. But when it comes to magic and fantasy and kind of romance and things of that nature and wanting to believe in, the possible and things like that. I guess I just was hoping for a little bit more, especially after reading like The Paper Magician and some of her other books where certain things do work out. Um, I think I do hope that things work out in different ways sometimes. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I don't think they always agree with the way the book is written, but that's why we come on here and we talk, right? I gave this book 4 stars, like I said. You're welcome to go check my Goodreads review. It is always out there. Like I said, I thought I had already recorded this, but what I had done was I had already reviewed it before I had recorded it. So I was feeling a little bit like deja vu-ish. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will like and subscribe. I hope you will come back and join me again. And until next time, thank you for joining me on this journey. I will see you guys on the next page. I hope you have a great one. Bye.